Welcome everyone. This is Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I will be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about mindset and fitness, martial arts a little bit, and then everything else in between to create synergy in your life. The synergy though, what does that truly mean for us? What is the balance for us? Some people say, all work and no play are going to make you a dull boy or a dull girl. But what I can say is that you have to figure out what is for you. Not everyone is going to say, well, going to the gym 5 days or 7 days out of the week is for me, or going to yoga all the time is for me, or doing tennis or basketball or playing some type of sports or martial arts is going to be for you, because you might try something and not like it. And I know there's therapists out there, psychologists, they look at the aspect of if you are trying to do something that's supposed to be making you better, but is not making you better, why continue to do it? Why not take some time to find what is going to be for you? But I will say that there is a caveat. You might say that I am most happy, sitting on my sofa and taking no action and being on my smartphone and just doing this for a good portion of my life. But we do have to look at the long-term goal, because you might be content is the word, content right now. But will you be content when something happens later on in life? You get a doctor's note that's not good. Are you going to say, well, c'est la vie. This is just life. Or are you going to say, whoa, let me press the brakes. Let me start to fix some things. Sometimes it could be either or. The majority is going to be you're going to change to, your habits are going to change. You're going to make some changes. Sometimes you're going to say, oh, well, I lived a good life. That means your mind is already checked out. You're in negative mode. And that negative mode is not a good thing. Not for mindset especially. What if we gave ourselves a lifestyle that we can engineer, that we would be happy with, that would be easy for us to follow? And not easy being, I'm going to have only easy days in my life. There's days when I don't want to go to the gym, but I still go. It might be difficult for me to go to the gym when I don't want to, but I created the habits, I created the systems. It's easy for me to follow that. Sometimes when I'm at the gym, I'm like, I don't know what do I need to do. I don't want to lift this weight. I'm tired. I didn't get enough sleep. There could be a plethora of issues going on. We all have our business in life. We could be stressed, anxious, whatever. The idea, though, that you can begin to implement things in the direction that you want, according to the lifestyle that you want to attain, is going to be something that you have to first give attention to. Are you paying attention? Welcome, Chris Malgeri, to Coaching in Session. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Today, we're going to be having you on as a fitness and mindset coach. And I was just thinking, I want to have a conversation with a fitness and mindset coach, because the way I do the episodes is like almost in line to what mindset needs. Think of it as a well-rounded diet. The mind needs the same thing. And so sometimes we talk about school, then we talk about grief, and we talk about all of these different things. But then we always need fitness in the mix. But the aspect of fitness has changed over the years. This morning, I went to the gym, and it seems like there's no one there. The big box gyms are always empty. And I love it. It's nice for me to go in there, get a good workout. I don't have to worry about waiting for something. I know in the evenings it could be a bit more busier, but it's almost like times are changing. And I know during the pandemic, a lot of people, they got home gyms, but how much of that equipment is truly being used? And it's because they don't have the mindset for fitness. They might have the mindset to do something that's healthy for a time being. I'm going to go to McDonald's and eat a salad, but I'm also going to get a Big Mac. And they think they're doing the right thing. But there's so many things that we don't know. And today we're going to be diving into that conversation with you. Can you tell the world who you are, what you do, and how you help?
Sure. So I'm Chris Malgeri. I teach martial arts, fitness, wellness. My wife and I have a group called the Synergy Center. We work both mostly virtually nowadays, but I do have personal coaching, and I have a jiu-jitsu course that I teach here. We're in Davenport, Florida, currently overheating a little bit, but other than that, it's pretty good. What we try to do is take a well-rounded, holistic approach to lifestyle engineering, right? Because what I might need as a 52-year-old that's striving to still be an athlete in the competitive Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world, a client might not meet, right? There maybe this is a person just starting their fitness journey, or maybe it's a person switching directions in a fitness journey. Or like you said, maybe they're the person that bought the membership and never showed up to the box gym. Maybe they're the person that doesn't have the mindset. So first, let's talk about that, right? What is your why? What are we getting to? I think a lot of coaching is, are you coachable, first of all, right? And what kind of coach do you need, right? If you're the kind of person that needs a text message every morning, say, get up, go to the gym, meet me here, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? That's fantastic. But you got to kind of know, what's your starting point? Who am I talking to? A lot of times there are apps for everything, as you know. I'm sure everybody knows nowadays. You don't need a personal trainer. You've got AI apps and things right now. But are you the person that's going to listen to that? Or when the notification comes on, do you just, get rid of it and go about your day? Apps are fantastic, but will you use the tool as designed to get the results that are prescribed? I don't know. We have to have those conversations. And what I'm hoping is that the more technologically refined we get, we will find a way to keep the interpersonal connections, because it can get easy to get lost in the kind of, you can go on YouTube and you can find every workout under the sun. You never need to talk to another human being. Maybe that's not the healthiest lifestyle choice, right? Maybe other humans are important to interact with on a regular basis. I don't know. We can figure that out. But you're absolutely right in the mindset. We used to think about mindset in high level athlete. In my world, UFC, jiu-jitsu, whatever. I first started really getting involved years ago when you think about Olympic level athletes and they talk about the mental game and everything like that, right? That wasn't a big part of my growing up early on in terms of athletics and everything. But it became prominent in, I think, first through the Olympic kind of fields, and then talking about what the Eastern Bloc is doing. And they did some fantastic stuff in the, I would say around the 60s and 70s. They sort of delved the meditation and the visualization and those tools that now are pretty prevalent, right? They're pretty commonplace. But what kind of tools does the average dad of 3 kids that's getting up, that has maybe a 30-minute window to sneak in? I need to know who I'm talking to. What level of coachability do you possess? What do you want? And then we can formulate a plan based on you to get going. But everybody needs mindset coaching, because it doesn't matter if you're the Olympic level athlete, you're the parent who, in my case, I had a 5-year-old sleeping on my face when I woke up this morning, right? Just crawled into bed. So I don't know, what person are you, right? Let's figure that out. And let's work on the mindset to get you towards those goals, right? Because I think mindset is a training. It's not just an attribute that you have. You got to train it. You got to cultivate it. Like you said, you cultivate your body. You should cultivate everything. I like the term making things something like a meaningful, a ritual almost, if we can avoid like the serial killer connotations, right? Make it a ritual, make it something that is important, meaningful, and something you look forward to. Make it this. So if you're dreading going to the gym, what's going on in here that's making you do that? Right now, everybody's got a day where the bed is more comfortable than the treadmill. The bed's more comfortable than the bench. Okay, but we can work on tools to get you out of bed, because I'm sure, as everybody's experienced, if you sort of push through that morning lull, and then once you get in there and you're doing whatever it is your thing is, 5 minutes into it, you're so glad you got out of bed. Even if you have to push through the workout and it's not your best workout, you have that self-confidence, right? Your self-efficacy goes up. You feel better about yourself. You feel better about your day because you got this thing done and you got it out of the way. But there's tools, right? Some people are motivated. They're robots, right? They get up, they go. They didn't really need that help. Some of us, myself, we need tools, whether it's the affirmations, visualization, the meditation, apps, right? There's an app for everything. So you having the determination to use those tools is what's going to get you to where you want to go, whatever that means to you.
Yeah, lately I've been only getting like 4 hours of sleep because I like to work at night. I get a lot of stuff done at night because the kid is sleeping. He's 2. So I was like, this is prime time to get stuff done. So I do a lot of stuff. I go to sleep early in the morning and then I wake up very quick to go to the gym. And it's about 4 hours of sleep I get. It's an interesting concept because I used to get like 5 to 8 hours of sleep. And that was like, I need at least six. So I was always short ending myself, but then I just got used to it. Like 4 hours of sleep, I'm good to go. I'm ready to go these 20 hours in the day, and I don't need any more than that. The idea, though, that my lifestyle has changed, though. Before, you're just a guy going out into the world, then you have a family. Now the purpose is a little bit different. It's like those extra hours of sleep, they're insignificant to, to the purpose now that I have. The lifestyle that I'm creating now is more for him, for the kids, for the family. I don't mind sacrificing a couple hours of sleep. Yet many people don't realize that what they sacrifice in their day is their progress. They don't realize that being on their phone or not taking action or choosing to be mediocre, that is stopping them from elevating themselves. And then they wonder why they don't have good things in their life. They wonder why they're struggling. Why do people have this mindset that is untrained rather than going into it full throttle and saying, I'm going to train my mindset to be a benefit to me?
Well, I think there's a danger in our society where we think of sometimes things are just laid out for us. Or when we see a champion or we see a very successful individual, we have two kind of negative paths that our mind might, I'm sure there are more, but let's just keep it binary for a second. Oh, they're so lucky. They got this. They had the background. They had the whatever. Nobody's looking deep into the story. Or the other one is they purse out, I have too much in my way to get these things done. So they'll put a roadblock mentally in their way and they won't take responsibility for where they are at the moment so that they can launch themselves forward. I think if you formulate a plan for yourself, simple one in the beginning, and start achieving the concrete steps, especially if you have a coaching environment, but you can be your own coach, right? If you don't have the resources to find a mental game coach or even a personal trainer or PT or anything like that, so what? If you want it bad enough, you'll figure out how to make it happen. So we need to retrain the brain on our expectations. If I gave you a busy guy, right? Busy guy, and I said, okay, he's working so many hours a day. If you took a 10-minute workout every day and you committed yourself to that, minor, what we now refer to as micro workouts, right? That's kind of all the rage, and it's very successful, right? My life, I'll give you an example. My life is so busy. I have 4 children. I homeschool my kids. That's a chunk of the day. That's a big commitment. But I do that because I don't live in my gym like I used to. I don't get up in the morning, train with my first group of guys, have lunch, take a nap, get up, do the business, train my kids' classes. I don't live that lifestyle anymore. I live, like you said, my life is for my kids and my family, but I can be super effective with, in my case, about every hour, I do a 5 to 10 minute micro workout on something. Mobility. I got the little hand extensor things. I got stuff all over the house where I'm always doing micro workouts. But within 4 weeks, 6 weeks, the results are going to be building up and you're going to see there will be tangible results with minor changes. So first of all, if we set up reasonable expectation, not too crazy, but not something that is not worth the effort, right? You set some tangible goals. Even I prefer in the beginning, non-metric goals. Like I'm just going to do, don't worry about the weight. Don't worry about anything that could potentially make you feel bad about yourself. What I would say is decide what you're going to do, decide what you can eliminate. I'm going to eliminate an hour of my social media time a day. That's a tough one. But you start and you say, okay, I'm gonna block off time for this. I'm gonna block off time for that. I know that when I love having it on my phone. I do my finger extensions. I go back to work, right? I do my 5-minute mobility thing. I go back to my thing. By the end of the day, if I've got 5 or 6, 5 to 10 minute workouts in, I'm in good shape and we'll see those results. The first result is do the thing every day. You'll feel good about yourself. And then how does my body change? Am I eating better? Am I feeling better? Am I drinking the appropriate amount of water. Make these micro changes every day. And it's not going to take you 6 months. It'll take you maybe 3 to 4 weeks to really start to see and feel results. And that's if you're starting kind of on the low side of things, right? If you're already in decent shape and you're doing a pretty good job, then this can have a transformative effect. And if you're one of those guys that I used to be this guy, lived by myself, worked out, but now I've got my wife, my children, I've got the responsibilities sort of layer on themselves. You can find 5 minutes here and there. That's the easy part. And the fun part is at the end of the day, when you reflect on your day and say, this is what I do, this is where I missed, and this is how I can do better tomorrow, you're going to start building up all these wins. And that's important because the more wins you stack up, the more you're likely to want to do tomorrow because you get that kind of momentum going. And then most importantly is learn from the losses. I didn't do this today. How do I tweak this to make it something that I can do better? Instead of feeling down about yourself because you forgot or you didn't get to A, B, or C things, that's okay. Learn and progress. And it doesn't mean that you have to spend 3 hours in the gym, right? If that doesn't work for your lifestyle, right? But just reorienting the way we think about what our wins are, what I have to do versus what I want to do in the day, that's important. I call these little micro workouts my golden time. My kids know we do a set of lessons, we do whatever. Dad's going to be, he's stretching in the corner. Leave him alone for 5 minutes. Nowadays, depending on what it is, in my case, and I know mine's going to be really unique, the way I keep all my things together, I just have them do it with me. Like everything we do. Our breaks are, my kids have their little finger extensors. We get together, we do our mobility work, all of it. It's all available. We're in such a good place technologically, informationally. There's no reason people can't, with these slight changes in the beginning, have monumental results.
When we have young children, especially like 7 minus, like they are sponges. If they see you doing something, they want to do it too. So what we do, he's only 2, but we go out into the garage. I have a jump rope, I have weights and stuff too, but I just like doing jump rope at the home. I like doing the weight stuff at the gym. That's just what works for my schedule. And I'll do jump rope and he just runs around like in a circle. Like, I don't think he knows how to jump yet. Like he used to, he can kind of do a jump, but it's not like a jump rope jump. But he's active. And it comes to what the parents are going to instill into their children. What you're doing with homeschooling, helping them understand fitness is a priority and to take action at every pivotal moment in your day, not to just stand still. Imagine how many 5-year-olds are just sitting in their house on an iPad watching whatever show kids are watching today. I don't know, is Paw Patrol still? I know Peppa Pig is still big. We have all of these distractions for kids. And the best thing about the shows is the worst thing about the shows. It's a distraction that makes our life easy for a moment. Because the kid is distracted, I can do whatever I want to do. If I have to do a meeting, maybe the kid can stay quiet long enough. If I have to cook, maybe the kid can stay quiet long enough. Whatever you do, you just hope that they are going to entertain themselves, distract themselves long enough that you can focus on whatever you want to focus on. The issue is our mind is not focused naturally, where we have all of these things, all these notifications going off on our phones. It stops us from being true to what our direction is. So if we have to do those 5-minute workouts and our kid is distracted, something's going to happen in our day that we are going to say, well, I got to focus on my phone. Oh, I got a Facebook message. Oh, I got, something on X. There's so many things that are stopping us or hindering us from really diving into personal development. The mindset, though, now, if we can have the purpose, and this is more of a family, like a family conversation. If we can say, I want to make sure that my child is going to be active, doing the things, and I have to be a part of that. You are going to do it more readily than saying, okay, I have this app, I got a personal trainer. I can't tell you how many people go to the gym, get personal trainers, and they have no results. It's because there's something inside of them that's not powerful enough yet. we need a bigger purpose. When you're a parent, typically the purpose is there, but then at the same time, you're tired, you're stressed, you're anxious. There's so much going on where you don't take action. And one of the things I like to do, I do it every so often. I'm definitely due for one, and I already have it planned out. I think I'm going to do it for my 40th birthday. I'm 36 now, where I completely do an overhaul. I destroy myself. Like I'm going to probably sign up for martial arts because my son will be at the age where he can join. And it's not going to be like a fighting thing, but it's going to be discipline, the movement stuff. And I'm going to tell the trainer, teacher, the sensei, I'm going to say, I want you to completely destroy me. I don't want to look in the mirror and recognize who I am. I want to look in the mirror and be a completely different man because I know something about mindset is that as you grow, you need to become stronger because the mindset typically is when you grow and you get older, things start to kind of break down. Your elbows start to hurt, your knees start to hurt, your back starts to hurt. And then you start to say, well, it's due to old age. But then if you look at people like Mike Tyson, if you look like David Goggins, F old age, they're like, I'm going to push through it. And they have trainers, they have people along the way to help them with that mental battle. And our next level is a mental battle. Why do you think many people succumb to the status quo of growing old and just falling into being old and feeble rather than being, like some beacon that gives people hope saying 65 can be good versus 65, I'm in a nursing home?
I think we continue to have in our cultural mindset, right? The idea that you're born, you go to school, you get a job, whether it's a factory job or you go to college and then you get even a high paying job, you work your job, you retire, then you sit on the porch and you wait to die. Or maybe if you have some income, you travel the country and you're the old person in the Winnebago seeing all the sights that you didn't see when you were 30 and your body could handle it. I don't think we prioritize in the United States the right things the right way where other places still do, right? For example, we don't prioritize whole food diets over processed food diets. That's just not something that we do here. That's why we have a supplement for everything. Why do we have a pre and probiotic pill when you can just eat it, right? Like you just have, if you have, but I'm not talking about like that yolk play that you get, right? I'm talking about really fresh made yolk. Well, my family in Argentina, my family in Italy, they eat differently than we do here, right? So we don't prioritize diet. We don't even prioritize our own drinking water, right? This is one of the things that my wife and I are super, super committed to is we don't drink tap water, right? It's just, we're trying to figure out how to get a better system because even the water coming out for the showers is awful for your skin, right? We don't prioritize our health. We prioritize the other activities that in many cases make somebody else's business bigger. They provide us with a life. We have to care for our families and do these things. But we don't prioritize education in the right way that's going to make our kids grow and blossom. We don't prioritize health and fitness as a lifestyle that everybody can glom onto in a way. Most of the time, because I just turned 52, and when I'm working out, even the guys been at this a long time, right? I got guys that are in mid 30s and they're complaining. And yes, I've been at it a long time. I'm keeping I have mentors that are 50, 60, 70, 80 that are still pushing themselves. So but they're really singular people, even within a martial arts community. This is kind of parallels in our world at large. We have a weird way of looking at the world. It's not holistic. It's not healthy. You hit a point and basically your usefulness is gone. So you sit and wait and, just wait to die kind of thing. That's not helpful. I don't follow anybody and I'm fine with social media as long as it has a window of time, right? I follow people that are of all ages, but are more holistically minded. And I only follow people that are like, there's some guys 60s, like you're saying, 65, 70s, 80 years old that are pushing because that keeps my mindset and other things going. Were we to think about physical education class in gym, it's silly. You learn to play a bunch of different games. We're not talking about eating whole foods. We're not talking about how to prepare foods. We're not talking about actually exercising. In my gym class, you learn to play the different sports. Nobody knows how to stretch. Right. I mean, granted, now that would be going back some years for me in high school and in elementary and school, but maybe it's different now. So I apologize to anybody, but the idea of just how to be mobile, right? Just how to live life in a healthy way. We expect to need drugs. We expect to need the back pain pills and whatever pills that's just built into our system. If you watch TV, you on YouTube, whatever, drug after drug is being pushed in front. So our mindset says, what? The more you watch this, your mind, I'm gonna need that when I'm 50. I'm gonna need the little blue pill as I get older. Instead of doing these certain exercises for men and women to make them stronger in all possible ways. I expect to break down. Therefore, that's what I'm going to follow. That it's baked in, right? That's why our obesity levels are the way they are. That's why we have so many people in nursing homes and not just, elderly people sharing experiences, teaching and other things. That's why there's two sides of the martial arts world that are fascinating. You walk into some gyms, the guy's got his black belt, and maybe you've seen the belts and they have all the stripes on it, right? Mm-hmm. There's kind of like a running thing in my world where you see in certain fields like jiu-jitsu, as you get older, you still got to show up. There's no excuse, right? Now, I'm not grappling and expected to beat a 20-year-old black belt world champion at 52, but I got to show up. I got to still be able to hang. So, but in other worlds where it's not expected, every new stripe they get on their belt, they get another inch on their belly. And it drives me nuts. You see these guys that are walking in their 7, 8, 9 degree black belts in whatever system, and they're obese. You don't deserve the belt unless there's a health or whatever reason. And even all that nowadays, it's nonsense. With whole food supplementation, with a diet and exercise, with mindset, with proper breathing techniques. I mean, if you really get deep into the yogic kind of pranayama and other breathing, you can lose weight while you're breathing, right? Because of the activity and the formulation of how we move our stomach and massage the internal organs. I mean, someday, especially when in Florida, like when I'm doing my morning breathing, 2 minutes in, I'm just drenched with sweat and I'm sitting breathing. Now, granted, yes, I'm in Florida. It was different when I lived in Anchorage in Alaska. It took me a little while longer to heat my engine, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
There is no excuse, but our mindset as a culture is wrong. If we expected to say, I'm going to live to the ripe old age where I can take care of my kids and my grandkids, where I'm going to be cognitively, I'm going to function at a high level. 55 doesn't mean retire. It might mean transition into a mentorship kind of roles. I think we don't have enough mentors that have been through the trenches and are still doing something, but can lead another generation in a positive, holistic way. And if you break all these things down, again, they're small changes. But like you're saying, I want to be grappling when I'm 70. I want to be passed along with my kids. I used to, like you said, I got to make dinner so kids just go, cold color. We're big on Legos in my family. Go do it. Now I sit my daughter up. She's got her little, like trainer knives, a little plastic. I involve them because, and this is part of it, is all kids, intimate relationship with your partners, all we really need is attention. We got to pay attention to ourselves, our needs, and where we want to go. And then we expand that. I think of it like a bullseye. You got to pay attention to yourself first, right? It's like like when you're on the airplane and the oxygen mask will come down, you got to put yours on first. But then what is your circle of influence? And you need to pay attention and involve them. When I make, and some days better than others, of course, but when I'm on a day when my kids are on everything that I'm doing, if I go for a walk, I do a lot of athletic training group stuff, Ben Patrick, the knees over toes guy, backward walking, right? I'm always on the lookout for information that's going to help me be that 70, 75-year-old, 80-year-old that's still pushing. And that has been fantastic. So my kids and I, we're like the weirdos in the neighborhood. We get up and we back. I don't have a sled or anything. So we're backwards walking. They just do it, right? I don't say, oh, I got to go do this, so you just keep it. No. And I did that a lot, unfortunately, and I regret that. Now, whatever I'm doing, kids want to do it. You want to cook? Let's cook. For sure, even the cleaning and the pickup, I make it by involving them where they can have my attention, then we're all better. And I don't have to think of it. Now, there are things, we're having a podcast here, they got to go keep busy for half an hour. That's okay. But as long as that's not the norm, as long as you are involving in some part of the day, if you can, right? If that's how the lifestyle is, you're involving your son, that's fantastic. That's a craving. But then that takes us back to what's their mentality going to be. But by strengthening their mentality, I strengthen mine. Even so, we're both growing together. Instead of me just hammering down what I want them to do, they'll never get a strong mental game. But if I reinforce them and reinforce my mental game together, we're both moving along. My son will be 15 here shortly, and he's now basically my training partner, a little bigger than me now, right? But I want to bring him along and nurture that time. And I've got my youngest is 5. But we take our time, and part of our practice together to keep the body moving. I'm teaching my kids salsa dancing. That's how my wife and I met, is through social dancing. And so just to be able to do that and involve those, sounds like a little micro workout. It's light, it's a little cardio, it's heavily cerebral, how to step on the beat, and it's really fantastic.
You touch on a lot of stuff there, and
You
I
go
do want
find
to
out.
I do want to break some of that stuff down because you touch on so much there, from like the shallow breathing, how people just kind of like take shallow breaths, and then if you take these deep breaths, you can be sweating in 2 minutes, especially in Florida, as you said, and making priority to education and health. It's something that we would like to implement in our life, but it seems like we don't have enough time. I'm sure you probably heard of the excuse, there's just not enough time in the day. We all have the same time, but yet certain people will make certain things a priority and certain people make things an option. So maybe I'll go to the gym today, maybe I'll work out today, maybe I'll do some cardio today, maybe I'll play with my kids today. It's all optional. Nothing is mandatory. And then when we look at like the notches on the belt, so as you go up in degrees, you get that extra inch, you say. And it's not only martial arts, it happens with our police force. It happens as you go up the corporate ladder. It seems like the more we put focus in something else besides our health and our fitness, we sell ourselves short and we deteriorate for an ulterior goal. And typically that goal is not going to be making us happy later on in life. Think of it as you spent all your life going up the corporate ladder to be, the CEO, top manager, whatever, right? And then at the end of it, right, you have poor health, you're obese, you can't walk up a flight of stairs. I mean, there's a plethora of issues that you have to deal with. And you know what you would do? You would spend all that hard-earned money that you wanted so badly and try to get your health back. But today we have an opportunity to focus on our health. It's right there in front of us, but people can't see the correlation. They only see the gold, but the gold is actually, like the gold chocolates, like they're fake. All right. They're not worth anything. So people will continually go after something that is not going to be of benefit to them. And then they wonder later on, like, why am I like this? We have been told a lie. We have been told that, okay, you're going to do this and your happiest years are going to be when you're older and you're retired. Like, think of postponing happiness. People will work 9 to 5. They don't like their job, but they do it to, for a means to an end, hopefully. But yet most of those people, they stay in the rat race all of their life and they can barely, support it when they retire because there's not enough Social Security, their 401k is going to be nothing. There's a lot of issues that people are falling into, but they do it in a way that is a slow decline. They don't even see it. As we grow up, those inches, just don't come on like, boom, like that. It happened after one hamburger, after another hamburger, after a piece of cake, after, like a night out, hanging out, like eating lavish foods. We don't give ourselves the focus of, boring can actually be good. There was a police officer, not all police officers are fat. There was a police officer, he was interviewed. He has a very boring life. He only gets like 4 to 5 hours of sleep and he eats like chicken and broccoli. It was basic, boring stuff. And he's in good shape, but he's like 56 or something like that. And you would look at him, he looks like maybe he's mid-30s. And we just have to look at what we're putting into our body and into our mind has a huge effect on our total well-being.
I agree. I think we've been sold a bill of goods, And we get we get inundated with information. And even if a lot of it's good, we can't often separate it, right? Sometimes the most basic chicken and broccoli, and you're disciplined to get that, that's okay. And it's okay to break the thing every now and then and have a treat, this and that kind of thing. But for people, we start talking about people need better willpower, they need better discipline. I think most people accept a level of mediocrity in themselves and they don't care to push back. I think a lot of people get to a point in life where they think this is how it's supposed to be, so they give up. We used to think of things as kind of this nice bell curve where most are people in the middle and they're kind of more or less average at most things. And then you have your really high performing people and the really low, but it's not. It's kind of like this low curve in the mediocre side. And then when, there's very few people that are super high achievers. It's not this nice picture that we often think about, but it doesn't have to be. What we need to do is we need to train people to expect more, but also understand that more doesn't really require huge steps. More requires a sequence of small steps, starting, like you're saying, in the mind, saying, okay, what's my small step for today? Is a very quick example. If somebody comes to me and says, my diet's terrible, I'm going to probably say, yeah, you're probably right. If you're telling me you're starting off at, it's probably awful, right? If you're admitting it up front. Most people, yeah, my diet's okay. What they really mean is it's bad. Okay, cool. I get the subterfuge we're going through. What's the first thing? Water. Start just everything is, I make it easy. Do it for 1 week. Here's a protocol to increase your hydration, right? Commit to that. If you change anything else, cool. But I don't, then following week, depending on your diet and your needs and whatnot, let's increase the protein X amount and then start decreasing the simple. Let's layer it one approach at a time. So within 4 to 6 weeks, you're on the path to a healthy diet. Versus a lot of people think, and I think to your point, they think they need these big leaps. People think, oh, if I don't get an MBA, I'm not going to get this new job. So they don't try to get the MBA. That is too big a hurdle. So what's the small step? Well, first, why don't you enroll? Let's get into the school. Nowadays, I'm seeing MBAs in a year and a half. And if that's going to launch your career, then what are the small steps that are going to eventually lead up to that monumental change? And now you're in a new place, right? What are the small steps? Get up, walk a quarter mile every morning, then a half a mile, and then 3/4. And pretty soon you're walking. Just the most fundamental exercise that exists. I've had people that they just walk up and down their hallway when we were in Anchorage and they can't even get outside. Walk up and down. I know it's boring, but if you commit to 5 minutes and then 7 and then 10, now we're building and building. And I think that's where the failure is. People don't get the wins and then they say, okay, well, they just accept and expect mediocrity. And then when that mindset is, well, what's the least I can do to get by with to the next day? What's the least I can do to make sure my kids are fed? A horrible example, but you go to the gas station, you're filling up, and then you see, the parent is buying the hot dogs at a gas station. They're buying dinner at a gas station. You are not training your kids. You're not setting them up for a successful life. Not even, if that's something you're so confident in doing and you're talking to the attendant and you guys know each other by name, you're doing that every day. And that is not setting you or your kids or the future up. And that's a lot of what happens. Now, are there resources? Is there education missing on different? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's where I think our educational system fails us. And then, that's a whole, I'm sure, another political conversation that we could have of how that education system needs to revamp. But at the end of the day, somebody that's maybe listening and has some control of their life, whether they're, even as an early teenager, you can, it's kind of where we start grasping at our own life. Are you going to eat the pizza and crap, or are you going to start formulating on how you're going to change your life, right? And, as I'm sure you're aware, you get a couple days of just garbage food, your just brain doesn't work any. You got to make these choices, right? And those are the conversations I like to have with people, because then we can I find that if we could sort of massage the first one, just for a week, make sure you're getting the water in this. We have a particular hydration protocol that I like to give people, and do that. It's really simple. Do that for a week, see if you feel better. See if anything, changes. Because usually within by like 3 to 7 days, you can start noticing some differences just in drinking pure water. And then after that, what do you want to do? Right? What are we laying on next? 5-minute workout a day. Doesn't seem like much. But you remember the guy that created P90X, right? Tony.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he did the whole thing fantastic. Cool program. Here's that he comes out with these 10-minute workouts. Why? If you can't sneak it in, that's okay. Just do something. Right. And he was doing this a decade. It's absolutely fine. Just take action every day in some kind of positive forward direction. Pay attention to it. Acknowledge your wins when you go to bed at night and think, okay, I did this, and learn from your losses. And then you're going to be making those mental strides forward, because once you got that, what you actually do day to day, you do martial arts, you play tennis, you run your own business, all of that requires a strong mental game, and it can be cultivated.
Very true. I like the idea of, just treating it as, sequential steps. You don't have to go to the gym, get a gym membership, get a trainer, go on the treadmill, put it to 10 and start running until you're thin, like there's a way to do fitness. And many people, they just don't have the know-how for, getting back into shape, because when things were good, they didn't take care of their body. Now things are not good. So they have to relearn their body to see what it's capable of now, and then slowly get it back to where you can be healthy, where you can take the actions that you need to. And walking is a powerful tool. Many people, they think walking is like walking. Like, I do that every single day and I'm still this weight. Well, you have a lot of bad habits too, I'm sure. From going out fast food, as you said, going to the gas station, the guy by name, get a couple hot dogs, maybe a couple slices of pizza. That could be the issue. Low water intake. There's a plethora of things that we have to be paying attention to. And one of the things I love about mindset coaching and just mindset coaches in general is that they help people find their blind spots. Because you might not even know that you're going to the gas station every single day, even though you are, but you don't realize what it's doing to you. 30 years later, you look in the mirror and you can't even recognize who you are. Today is a good chance for you to press on the brakes and say, whoa, where am I going? Is this direction exactly, the direction I want to be going in? Or is it something that I can start to make some adjustments? Today can be that adjustment. Today can be the day that you give some attention to yourself, to the direction, to your mindset. And then you can ask yourself, can I give more? Can I take some more action? And if the answer is yes, and the answer should be yes, what are you doing about it? Yes, you can go on YouTube. Yes, you can get an app on your phone, but have you done that before? And was it effective? The best thing about getting a coach or a mentor or someone to help you along the way is that you have that aspect of accountability. And that key right there is going to be helping you get to the next level, because it's easy for us to get distracted. It is easy us, for the brain to say, I don't feel like doing it today. And then you don't do it. And then you don't do it tomorrow, and you don't do it next week and next month. And then before you know it, you're stopping going. And then you are definitely stopping more than you're going. This is a habit that we can change. And the work that you do, Chris, I know is helping people get into the routine of continually pushing themselves and then asking themselves, can they do more? And if the answer is yes, and we know it is yes, but we have to get that yes from you. We can't just say, you need to do this, and then you say yes. You have to want it, because you can put 100 people in the gym, and if they don't want it, all 100 people are not going to get in shape. Just because they're in the environment, yes, there is, statistics of just being in the environment can have some effect. But if you have the lifestyle at home that is not benefiting you, guess what? Some days you're going to be stressed, anxious, and you're not going to even want to head to the gym. It happens so often. As we begin to wrap up, Chris, I would love to get some final words from you. And then, of course, tell the audience how they can look you up and find you.
Sure. I think that if you're struggling with the mental aspect of things, the mental game, then obviously this is part of what I do. My wife and I, we run this Energy Center. thesynergycenter.net. We do everything from life coaching to in-person and virtual martial arts, fitness, nutrition, yoga, dance, all kinds of different things. Those are modalities, right? But like we were talking about right here, what you pick as your mechanism to get you in shape is almost irrelevant to you, the fact that you're doing it. You might go and say, hey, I want to do jujitsu. I might do Muay Thai. I might do CrossFit. You might play tennis. It's really kind of irrelevant. We don't want to get stuck up in what's a better workout. The better workout's the one you're going to do. But the coaching aspect, if you're not in that small percentage of people that needs nothing, they just get up, go. They've got the Goggins mindset. I don't even want to talk to you. I'm gone. I'm just out the door. That is a small percentage of people. I think that the coaching aspect for accountability, generally, like just a general coaching to say, did you work out? Did you work on your finances? And how to massage that, and if they can help you organize, that is something that you might want to consider. And then let them help you put everything in a row. Now that's tricky if they're a life coach, but they don't understand fitness. There's some challenges there, right? Some people need a different coach for everything. You see that in our sport. Guys, a wrestling coach, a jiu-jitsu coach, a strength and conditioning coach, because they all have their expertise. But there needs to be a head coach that guides it all. And I think that's very, very important. Be willing to be coachable, take adjustments, but at the end of the day, it's you. You're going to make the decision. So you've got to, in some sense, instill to yourself that sense of priority. I'm worth it. It's worth it to work together with other people, get the information. And it's okay to stumble. Maybe I go to yoga and I tried a few times. I don't like it. Don't stop looking. That just means you're not a yoga person. Maybe you need to go to Peloton. Maybe you need to get on the bike. Find it, but let yourself take the steps to find whatever path you need to get on. And once you're on it, then go have a good time. I was fortunate that I found martial arts super, super early. And then that's been my life, right? That's my thing. That's what I do. I have other avenues that I enjoy, but be coachable, listen, experiment. Be also willing to say, hey, that's not working for me. Let's find a different way to solve that same problem. But coachability is so important, and let that strengthen your mindset and your resolve moving forward.
And I know you said it early on, but one more time, the website and how can people find you?
On the socials, it's the official Coach Chris. I have Facebook and Instagram. I'm not a big X. I kind of stay away from the dumpster fire that is that kind of stuff. But thesynergycenter.net is the easiest. That's the hub of all our information. And we're constantly putting in new resources and free tools to help you, right, to learn about what we do, but just generally learn about nutrition and wellness and fitness, things that you can sort of evolve into on your own. And then in person, if anybody's in the area, a little more flexibility in your schedule if you want to do things virtually. We also travel and do seminars occasionally. So it's all available. Just to help somebody engineer their life in the direction they want it to go.
Perfect. And I'll make it easy for everyone. All the links will be in the description box below. So check out his website. Make sure you follow him on social media so you can always stay updated about any workshop he's having or anything that's coming up. We do have to give ourselves the aspect of the figuring out what works for us. As you said, you might be a swimmer, you might be a basketball player, a tennis player, you might like martial arts, and you have to figure that out. And there's nothing wrong with trying something and saying, this is not for me. As you said so wonderfully, we have to just give ourselves the opportunity for that growth, but we just can't sit and stay still and stagnant all the time. Take action today, inquire about your passions, your likes, and then start to step into a total better mental and physical health. I want to thank you so much, Chris, for coming on, spending some time and talking about your work. All right, everyone, I'd like to thank you so much for tuning in to that interview with my guest. What went on is we talked all about the idea of creating a coachable type mentality, because we are trying to figure out if we can make some changes in our life. Where do we begin? And I know we can be stubborn sometimes. I have been a stubborn fool for a good portion of my life. I'm probably still stubborn to this day. I am less stubborn than before. I'm making progress, people. Okay, I'm human. I understand something, that if I want great things in life, I need to be challenged. I know that. When you're on a sports team or you do martial arts or something. Your coach is pushing you. You might be winded. You might be tired, and they say, get up, do another round, do it again, do it again, do it again. You're like, I'm about to die. Not literally, hopefully, but you don't feel like you're going to make it through. Your mind is playing a trick on you. It happens when you're on the treadmill and Stairmaster, when you're running, when you feel dizzy or something, right? You feel like you need to stop or something's going to happen. We have these safety mechanisms within us. They're good things, but then there are also things that create limits within us. What would happen if we chose to have someone that can look at our situation and see if we were truly at our limit or if we can push a little bit more? But the simple aspect is you just have to be coachable. You just have to be someone who understands that you can elevate yourself and you need someone sometimes to bring that out. I love to get coaches, coach me, mentors to help guide me because I understand something. At some point, I hit a plateau. And when I hit that plateau, or if I feel stuck, right? So if I'm stagnant too, so stuck or plateau, either one, if either of those happens, if I'm stuck or if I'm plateaued, I'm getting a coach. I'm getting a mentor. I'm finding someone because I need to get to the next level. I need to get out of where I am. It works for me. So if you're stuck or if you have plateaued, you need someone to help look at your life, look at your lifestyle, make some adjustments. They don't have to be big ones. We're not trying to overhaul your whole life and say, you need to start to do this and you need to stop doing this and you need to sacrifice this because this is no good. Like, we're not your moms and your dads. We want to guide you. We want to help you. We want to encourage you to a better life. But just because we want that for you doesn't mean that you're going to reach it when you get there. Because you can walk away at the end of things. You might have done all the work to get to where you want to be. And then finally you get there and you're like, yeah, cool. I got there. Right? Bucket list. Boom. Done. And then when you try to get back to there because you realize how good it was, you see how much work now you have to do and how much struggle it is. When David Goggins did the pull-up record, he failed the first time. And then he had to do it again. He realized, like the 24-hour thing, like you have to do a certain amount in 24 hours. He knew the second time what he had to do in order to beat the record, but he also knew how much it would suck, how much pain he would have to go through again. But yet he did it. In a sense, we might go through something and we might have to go through that pain again. But when you do something like that, typically, the result is going to be better. And if it's not, rest, prepare your mind, and then try again. Because not every moment we're going to want to get up and fight. Some moments we're going to need to relax, recoup, recover, and then from there we get to make the choice to take action or not. And I encourage everyone to take action, to continue to thrive toward a better life and to a better you. Because the goal in life is always going to be moving, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we can't be happy where we are, even if we're always trying to chase something, or we're trying to chase a better us, the us that we are going to be tomorrow maybe, because we're trying to be in competition with who we were yesterday. That person is gone, but we're trying to beat that person, trying to elevate. Some days we might succeed, some days we might fail, but if we fail, we understand that the next day is a new opportunity to win again. So if you're ready to win at life, check out the links in the description box below. Learn more about what Chris is doing, what we do here at Reven Concepts, and we'll be more than happy to help you on that journey. My name is Michael Rearden, Mindset Coach. If you have any questions, email me coachinginsession@gmail.com, and I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone take care.